Hi, welcome to Wildcast episode 3?
Episode 3.
3?
And it's like one of those shows on like Peacock where they submit the first 3 episodes in like the same week.
I have a life outside of this, whether that is surprising or not. I don't know. But anyways, welcome back. We were at Valley this past week. Ooh, lots of good shows, lots of cool things happened. And we're going to talk about every single thing that happened in excruciating detail. This is going to be a 5-hour video. Lock in.
It might be. Look at how loaded my notes were from the first show.
What did you do? I missed the first show because I was prepping.
All of these ones had like continued.
I really like how... Wow, you wrote a lot this week. Anyways, we're going to just jump right into it with LVA versus Valley. Ooh.
This was a fun show. Quickly reading it back just so I can remember when it was performing. Yes, we got to see Seth's debut from LVA, and it was very, very fun. So Seth, as a performer, is the type of performer that you could call almost bizarre, but is extremely funny. And I think Seth really did get to showcase who Seth was. I think it was a good call making Seth captain. Seeing Seth in a coin toss was a great idea. Let me see here. We started off with radio. Okay, yes. So there's a couple things. One of the things I liked, Kaylin, who was performing for Valley, was the 8th dwarf, but with a Midwest accent.
Oh.
And it was, and they had a line of Philba, I'm bitter about that. And that was, I don't know which one that came from. Emily was Nicholas Freedom, the sibling to Nicolas Cage.
Did Blaze give that suggestion?
That's very possible.
Blaze
was there early.
Okay, then yeah. That probably was them.
And then Seth, who I was just talking about a moment ago, had a pretty much had a very big bit throughout radio that I think was like kind of one of the highlights of it. Seth, it was welcome to blah blah blah, where we teach you how to do the worm. Step 1 says, I can't even remember. That's step 2, do the worm. And then it was like this bizarre worm. Like, it was kind of scary. It was like a on the floor, I should clarify. Awkwardly puts chest to the ground in a slug-like manner is what my description was, because I didn't know how else to describe it. So yeah, and then
not the XD.
I was giggling. It was funny. Seth got up and then goes, now that you know how to do the worm, you can take over the worm. Step 4, find 3 worms. Or no, you could take over, I think it's take over the world. I was like, now that you know how to do the worm, you can take over the world. Step 4, find 3 worms. Step 5, do the worm. And then overall, I think it was a very, very good scene. Seth had this really good bit of doing the worm. I can tell at the end of the scene, Roman was going for like a rule of 3s and was like waiting for Seth to do the worm one last time. Seth never did the worm, and it kind of made it this like beautifully uncomfortable bit of Roman like, and I'm just staring at Roman like really like, go on. And it was so good. Yeah, no, it was kind of funny watching Seth do everything but the worm in the end, despite the fact that doing the worm was his character up to this whole point. But overall, radio was pretty fun. Next, they played a game of what? I don't know. Do you have notes at all?
I wasn't here. I was in the back.
Yes, you were busy for the first show.
Because we will get into it, but the second show was a little funky.
Yes, I think it was something about Argentina or something like that, or I can't remember. Something about like we were going for the joke of like Argentina's cousin Argentoni or something like that. I don't know if that was a suggestion or what it was, but it got to the point where what's LVA or LVA's what was like, Seth introduced himself as Argentom to start off the game. Then we moved right into an inner monologue. Their suggestion was Museum of Barber History, which I remember was actually really funny.
And this was for Valley?
Yeah, this was for Valley.
Okay.
So Kaylin's character wouldn't stop talking about pictures. It was like just constantly taking pictures, right? 'Cause they're like a person in a museum. Yeah. And so when they do their inner monologue, it was like this like good lighting. and then they stepped back into the scene.
And that was it? That was their
And I honestly, as a person who works on the strip, I can confirm that's how tourists' brains work. Christian entered the scene and goes, "Hey!
That's it?
Hold it right there!" it was this commanding hey. Both performers looked to acknowledge Christian fully. So Josh and Kaylin are fully watching what Christian's going to do next, just for him to eventually say, "Hold it right there," and not continue from that.
I love Christian. What a great performer. He's so funny.
It's so awkward, but I loved it. Kaylin eventually stops and goes, "I thought this was the barbed wire museum. I'm not here for a snip snip. I'm here for a click click." Kaylin starts to explain something, and then Christian hits a "She got you there. She got you right there, sir." Because I think somehow Josh and Kaylin got into like a roast battle. And it was just this stupid thing where Christian as a security guard is taking Kaylin's side. I don't know. It was a goofy scene. I enjoyed watching it though. Next one was Monkey Mirror, where they had chairs on both sides because one of them was doing it was a hockey bench, and the other one was Pirates of the Caribbean Florida ride. The Florida
like
Florida
Disney
Disneyland.
World?
Yeah, the Disney
okay.
World. Sorry, I kind of summarized it quick.
I like that it's Potsy.
Yeah, it was the quickest way I could put it.
No, that's smart. I just think that's a really funny abbreviation.
That's right. I'm part of the Potsy Reddit. But yeah, no, the hockey bench from LVA was pretty good. I think one of the early things that happened was, since they were on the Pirates of the Caribbean Florida ride, Christian is like on the ride and he goes, because he was in the back, and then he like fell out.
Oh, no.
So then when it switched over, there was Seth, who was like consistently, but in the first scene, being like, "Why is there a basketball?" Asking the question about like, why is this going on in a hockey game? So when the switch fell over, they go, "What happened?" And Seth goes, "Someone hit me with a basketball."
I'm sad I missed it.
And then I don't know how it got to this point because I am missing my memory, but I just wrote scene ended with everyone choking each other, and that was in both scenes.
Both scenes, just like a.
Yeah, it just was like a switch and switch. Cool. Continuing, there was a to-do rap. Seth was the first one out, was popping off in the dance pit. Christian was very offbeat but hilarious, and I loved it. Oh yeah, so this was a big one. So Tyra for LVA, it got to the point where Seth got out first, Emily got out second.
Mm-hmm.
So usually we don't like this situation where we're seeing a 1v3. Well, Tyra managed to come back from 3-1 to get to a 1v1 versus Christian. They both were going back and forth. I think the name was Mark. And then Tyra managed to win because Christian went for the word fark, which I personally was a fan of, but, you know, it's kind of hard to get fark across with the audience, you know?
Fark?
Last name Quad, first name Fark. I don't know how you can do it. But yeah,
I buy it.
So overall, LVA versus Valley was a very fun show. Second show was an interesting one.
Ooh, boy.
We did a 2v2 because of just
numbers,
student availability, and it actually kind of made it fun because then they were able to do like team choices all the way through it and get to like perform together as a team.
So it was Del Sol versus Not Secta.
Yes, versus secretly engaged,
cool, talented performers. Performers with an A.
I was gonna say Academy.
Academy? Oh yeah, there we go. Performers?
Performers.
I'm really tired. I'm tired. Anyways, cool, let's talk about it. The first game we did was Family Dinner.
Yeah.
And I got pulled up. Thrilling for me, by the way.
Yes. It was, Mia, go ahead and explain your experience.
Yes.
Oh, wait, sorry. I want to clarify.
Yes.
The coin toss for this show was a asthma...
asthma breath test with Allie, who has asthma, and Kat, who also has asthma, apparently. They both apparently have asthma, and Roman's just like, I need you both to take a deep breath, and I will determine whose breath looked healthier.
And then that will be the winner of the coin toss. It was pretty good. watching two people hold their breath for having asthma. I was like, thank you, Roman.
Oh.
As a person who once felt like a fish with no water, as that kid says in the commercial, I understand. Okay, cool. Let's go to family dinner.
Family
Go ahead,
dinner.
Leah.
So it was my family that they were representing, which is me, my mom, my dad, my partner. One thing about this game, and this might have been my fault. It was my fault for giving the suggestion for my partner's only attribute to be aura farming. There is no other way to describe that man as that. And then my mom, and it was just really funny. I was so entertained. I was so tickled by this.
I was able to gather some quotes from the scene.
Yes, go.
So one of the lines, so Kat was fulfilling the role of Mia's partner, who I have met personally, so I do understand this person. So one of the lines for an aura farmer is, "Thank you, partner Mia."
And I need it to be known, he does say that occasionally. And it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I said Kat feels like biblically accurate version of that character.
Kat was very biblically accurate, and I also needed to be known Kayla was also biblically accurate to my mother. And I was like, uh-oh, this game is supposed to be inaccurate, and instead we somehow landed on this is a very real conversation that can occur in my family.
Yeah, I stopped taking notes because eventually I came in as a dog and I laid on the floor and wanted Doritos.
And that is also accurate of my dog.
Nice.
Which I'll put a picture of right here. Bam. That's my dog. And then there's a second one. Bam. There he is. He wasn't mentioned.
You want to put a side-by-side of me and your dog for
Sure.
comparison purposes?
And bam. Yeah. Now I have to edit all of that.
you
I chose it. But it was very funny. Aside from it being my family, it was a really fun family dinner to watch. Because I think the goal of family dinner, despite like the absurdity of making fun of someone's family, is also just trying to keep a consistent scene going through.
Yeah.
And I think this one did a pretty solid job of keeping a consistent scene of my mother spending all my dad's money. That was the plot of the scene, and it was very entertaining. Now, that is an argument my parents have had. Not that aggressively, obviously, but it is one that has occurred.
Their next game that they played was Slow-Mo. So it was Kat and Kayla as Doug and Tommy. I think Kat was like Tommy's dad.
Yep.
And Doug is man, Tommy is child, whose mom / Doug's wife is how I wrote this. Okay, I think it's stepson situation. One of the lines that one of the things I got, so the game was a solid game of Slow-Mo. One of the things that really made me giggle though, so as we know, we are, okay, cool. Continuing.
And this is why I upgraded the storage on the Google Drive.
Let's see what's going on here. Slow-Mo,
Tommy's wife.
So the music cued in at right as the fight started in the scene. So in the Slow-Mo, there was no music for the Slow-Mo the entire time. It was just awkwardly like, and then immediately the boom, 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 hit right when the fight started, and it kind of made it perfect.
And then it immediately cut out, which was even funnier. It's that it cut in, cut out, and then we looked back at text, like, cue it back in, and it cued back in.
It was perfect.
It was very funny. I was very entertained.
Yeah, no, I think if there's ever a time for it to perfectly come back in despite missing its original cue, it was to show up right there.
It was right there.
Perfect.
It was a very fun game. Also, there was a point where Allie broke the game by dragging Kayla into the Slow-Mo.
I think Allie was Kayla's mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like just dragging. There was just, it was very funny. There's also just a line of, I've competed against him, my wife competed, she's getting smoked. I don't know who said that, and I was like, that's really funny.
What else is going on? There was changing emotions. I think I took a picture. Oh, I left my phone over there.
Wow.
I took a picture of all the different emotions that were given. I think there was, one of them was Sussy Baka.
One of them was Sussy Baka.
There was
Joyous but British.
Irish and ambidextrous. I can't keep track of all the.
Australian.
There was Australia. There was another one in there. I think it was just a celebrity. Was it Jack Black?
Jack Black and Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Okay.
Specifically.
There was a lot of fun ones. So the scene started with Irish and ambidextrous, where Kayla immediately hit a little jig to clarify how Irish they are.
There was also just a really... No, it started with Joyce and British, and then it transitioned.
Oh, and then it became Irish and British. Okay.
But Joyce and British, it was just very funny watching Kat trying to do a British accent. It's going, as the... just to get into the accent. I really like that. And then when we got to Irish and ambidextrous, it was just, I think it was Kat also saying, what if I give them a pot of gold with both my hands? I was like, that's so stupid.
So dumb.
It's so dumb, but it was so funny.
Yeah, my notes for this game were very slim because I think I was giggling most of the time.
I did write, Kayla, I'm so sorry, Sussy Baka. Because Kayla did get stuck with that for the remainder of the game, pretty much.
Hey, I said Kayla as Sussy Baka is funny, was my note.
I felt so bad because it was just Sussy Baka and then her going, and then immediately going into it because it was just like a sigh of disappointment. I felt so bad, but it was very good.
I understand.
I really liked it.
But,
It was just, this is a game I think this is the first time we played it this season was changed. This is the first time we played Changing Emotions.
Did we play it last season?
Once.
Okay, I didn't even know. I probably didn't see it.
Because I think I made my kids play it also.
Okay.
I like this game a lot, and I think it's a really fun game. It's a very fun game, and I think it's also a very easy game to teach people if you need like something different that you want to try.
I definitely prefer it over like quadrants. Like quadrants is a very hard one to do.
I have so much beef with quadrants. I hate quadrants. If I had to tier list my games, bottom tier.
Because I think this one's there with like quick change. It's just almost though that like we know what the quick changes are gonna be.
Yeah.
So we can like prep for them.
Yep. I think they're the same game.
It basically is. I think it's just that quick change is like all off top. This one is like we have
the list
of things we're expecting to see now, which made it fun.
It was a fun game. I very much liked it. And then we moved into my movie.
My movie. I think I had to leave because I said came back and everyone was rolling and Hank Hill.
Oh, so you came back at the very beginning.
Okay.
So the very first movie for my movie was Tumbleweed Time. We all roll around, and then they all just immediately dropped and rolled around the stage, and I was very entertained by that. My movie is also one of those games that I think not a lot of people play, but it's a very simple game to learn because it's literally just title, movie, short scene. It's like a self-contained scenes from a hat, basically.
Yeah,
that's like essentially what it is.
Another movie that made it was Leaping Frogs, Hop to It by Kayla. One of them, I put a note of Allie gets idea stolen. That's what I was gonna suggest.
There's another one. Oh, this one I think was the funniest one to me. Was Kat just going, saline, the solution to my problems.
Yes. So I have saline, the solution to my problems, which continues with a quote from that scene of, that's a saline goblin.
And then there's just a point where all three, so it's Kayla, Dom, and Allie all surround Kat and spray saline into her eyes. And I was like, what is happening in this scene? It was so funny. Those four together, I think were just a really funny squad. They were so funny.
Yeah, they
together.
wanted to do a suggestion starring me. So the one that ended up winning was Kayla's, which was Eons. The Cervoni story. I was like, what the heck? It was so bizarre.
Why did I catch strays in this? This wasn't even about me, and I caught strays.
Yeah, Mia was in it a lot. I was like, it's really crazy that the Cervoni story stars in Alan so hard.
I don't think they played you once. It was like 2 Mias plus Roman, no Geo. And then it was just them playing inner monologue about my alleged inner thoughts about hating Geo for some...
And I wrote a note, because I think it ended, and then they came back into it. So I think there's a sequel, question mark. and then I went straight to DVD in the big 2026. Yeah, that's it. It was, you know what, honestly, I think if I was starring in a movie, it probably would go straight to DVD. In the big 2026. Not even streaming. You know, you gotta get it from a guy.
You have to, get it from a guy on Reddit.
Like a bootleg guy outside of a Burlington.
Oh, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. The go-to place for all good purchases. Then they ended with a Listen to Me, Brother.
I just picked games we don't play. I'm gonna be so honest.
I think it was a fun one. I will say, I enjoyed Listen to Me, Brother to a point where I had to jump in for like 2 of them.
Yep.
But
it's
yeah.
a good game. Don't be scared of puns.
Yeah. Most of my notes were mostly just about the confidence of the game. I put so Allie and Kat, I think, were just confident from the jump in it. I think they were just willing to go for it. Kayla gained confidence as it progressed. Like, I think at first Kayla was like, Hulk Hogan impressions, and then because Kayla is a wrestling fan, so I guess Kayla probably has an idea.
It could be either Hulk Hogan or Macho Man.
Okay,
those are like the two like that are like the general.
Okay,
leaning towards Macho Man.
Because I think Kayla really started to get it down by the end, and
Dominique also started like to gain confidence as the game went on too.
That's what I had too. I said like Dominique had a lot of like glimpses of like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then like going for it, and I'm like, yeah, we need that 24/7.
It's so
because they all did very good whenever they went out. It was just you got to be willing to just go out over and over, especially in a game like that where there's only 4 performers doing what is like a scenes from a hat, a fun game, anything like that.
You just got to go for it.
Because the idea is the energy can't drop off, so they just kind of got to always just keep marching forward and just dropping lines.
Because I think Allie and Kat did a really good job, like just picking it up the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think Listen to Me, Brother is just such a funny pun game.
I liked it. After the game, immediately Jarrell went over to me and was like, yeah, that's a game you probably really want to play. You're just cutting wrestling promos. And I was like, I was like, I would love this.
It's such a good game. Shout out Romeo. I think I learned it from Romeo. That's who I think I learned it from.
Yeah, if you guys are ever trying to look for fun new games that you never heard of, Coach Romeo is always a fun basis for things like that. And there's always, even Sean is always known.
Sean has a lot, too.
If you're trying to think of weird, creative, like, warm-ups or, like, exercises to, like, challenge your team in weird ways, Sean both has a bunch and can like make them off the top of their head, and they'll be like, that sounds good, and it's kind of interesting how it works. Yeah,
they're great. They're super freaking talented.
Some really fun brains we have around the league. Really worth asking around, I promise.
And they're not scary, I promise.
They're not
scary except for me. No, I'm just kidding. My kids called me
scary
yesterday.
Is that why you hated me so much in the Cerrone story in Eons?
Allegedly.
In the hit film that probably wasn't starring me, unless I was playing you.
Awful.
I play you in a story about hating me. It's like when Shia LaBeouf plays his dad and chooses to be as toxic as possible, and you're like, oh my gosh.
There's some feelings here.
Yeah, there's a lot of repressed anger that's finally coming out.
Yes.
Cool. Next game.
Sierra Vista versus Explore Academy.
Ooh. This game was, it started off with a 9 out of 10. That was about Alaska.
I just wrote down the quote, Alaska. And the guy coming out saying, Alaska, what am I Alasking?
Yeah, that's my exact 2 first notes as well.
Really?
It's Griffin who goes, Alaska, and they just called it that. It's like, because he was trying to think of more. Like,
I need to say, prior to this game, Roman did say whoever's out at the end wins an actual dollar bill.
Yeah.
So one person has made money doing improv.
You're officially professional.
Congratulations. That's more than we've made.
That's true.
Anyways, this was such a fun 9 out of 10, I think, because they broke it.
Yeah. That one was, So Griffin started with the Alaska. Kai bounced off with the Alaska. What am I Alasking? And then I have Griffin and Rory were talking to their audience, which was, they were like, these are our clients.
The lawyers, I think they named themselves John Sanchez. I wrote.
Did you get that? I didn't get the John Sanchez.
No, I wrote down John Sanchez represents the audience.
And so after that, whenever Rory or Griffin had to go, Rory is Aurora, I should clarify. I think they kind of go by either interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
They became a co-counsel, so they had to go up together whenever they had to go, because it was like, I represent with, and it was like they can go up. So Adrian from Explore Academy turned out to be guilty, and so Griffin came in as Adrian's lawyer to help finally continue So Griffin then became Saul Goodman, and then Rory was Saul Badman, and Adrian was Saul Middleman. And then Kaz came in as Saul Non-Binary Man.
And that's where it cut off. And then Kaz won the $1.
Yeah.
And I needed to be known, Kaz only walked out at the very end and won the whole thing.
Hey, look, it's not about how much chips you put on the table. It's about winning. You know what I mean? It's about the last move you do. And Kaz, won the Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Came right in right when they needed to. That was a really fun 9 out of 10 to start it off.
And then we move into menacing phone call.
Which I want to argue, we've had some really good scenes. I think week 1, Explorer Academy had a really good scene with C doing a big charge. I want to say it was replay.
Was that the wisdom teeth scene?
I think it was.
Yes.
That was week 1. Week 2, we had some really good scenes. Week 3, though, I think so far this season, this was probably the best scene of the season in my personal opinion.
I agree.
But this menacing phone call was super, super good. I don't know if it was Blaze kind of throwing little lob passes to them helped out, but I think the performers, even if Blaze wasn't specifically the person doing that menacing phone call, did absolutely amazing. I think their characters were so clear without the menacing phone call.
I said this backstage that this scene reminds me of Hades, Pain, and Panic from Hercules. That's what that trio reminds me of. Because they just fit that, role so well of Griffin just being this evil mob boss and Kai and Kaz just being the henchmen that just follow everything Griffin says. Because at one point in the scene, at the very beginning, Griffin says, "Henchmen, get the car!" And they just immediately ran off and started miming pushing a car onto the stage. And I was like, oh my god.
I don't know if that was it was so good to a point where I'm I almost had to ask them, have you guys practiced this before?
They did this. I told Blaze how this game works backstage, and then they did it.
Oh, okay. Well, because I will say they did insanely good. It was good. It was one of those things where I don't know if these performers have been performing with each other so much now that they're gaining confidence to a point where they're almost in a flow state is what I felt like in that scene.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they understand okay, Griffin is gonna set us on this weird path, this weird journey, and we're going to follow him and perfectly execute everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's if you're watching Avatar, you know how it's Sokka, Katara, and Aang.
Mm-hmm.
It's Aang wants to go here. Sokka and Katara are perfectly going to support everything Aang does.
Yeah.
It really felt like that because it was just the henchmen get the car. Not only did they both immediately know to start running towards this imaginary car, but they also understood to both go for the same gimmick of we're pushing the car, as opposed to not wanting to try to get in the car or anything like that. It was just, it's performers who seem like they all understand where each other's brains go to a point where now they are in a full sync, and it was really, really crazy watching it.
They had such good synergy the whole scene. They just had so many funny bits this entire scene too. This is the context of the scene. They were mobsters going to a public pool.
Yeah,
that was the plot of the scene.
I had a line of, so I think this was one of the first menacing calls. I think I went to Kai, got the first one.
Uh-huh.
And Kai had gotten pretty much the thing where Kai now has to focus on trying to apply sunscreen to everybody. It's an Impractical Jokers bit, and I was okay. Another good line, this one was really good. I think it was Griffin was looking at his car and he goes, I really wish I had a henchman to move this car for me. And immediately they ran and start pushing the car again. And I think one of the other ones that I got was it just, this car gimmick, it feels so stupid because it feels so random. But if you were seeing it in action, you would be this is insane how good this is.
So funny.
There's this line again where it's a third time. He goes, "Get the car!" And then immediately, I think Kai goes into the driver's seat, and then he goes, "I said get it, not drive it."
I wrote that down too. It was so funny. The other thing that they did that was really funny is that they also kept switching roles where Griffin would walk off and then go down and on their knees to be shorter and be like, "I'm a kid at the pool now," and then go back to being the mob boss just to just to paint the scene a little bit.
It almost was given the energy of like, you know, like Recess, the show or something like
Yeah.
that. Like it would be like one of those shows where like they are still kids, but this is like their fictional brains. It's
it
like
was so
in action.
funny.
So there was moments where it feels like we're glimpsing and seeing what these kids are actually like. But I should clarify, because if they are kids in this new canon that we are assembling through the theories of this
canon.
scene, Kai also had to put sunscreen because they worked at this pool.
Oh yeah.
And Kai eventually gets a call from their boss, and the menacing phone call. Picks it up and you just hear, "You're fired." And then Kai just drops the phone like dramatically. I put insanely good character work from the whole team. Amazing scene. I said Blaze was just icing on the cake. So
this is my final quote that I wrote down.
Okay.
That I just need to highlight because it made me laugh. It was just Griffin going, "Let me take off my suit. There's a suit underneath. It's a swimsuit." I was like, what?
So stupid.
I was like, if there's one thing I think Vista does really well is doing such simple scenes, but with so much just great technique in it. Because it's just, at its core, this scene is just mobsters going to a pool. And that's such a simple, easy, like, cool, easy scene to do. But they just elevate it so much with all these little things, and I just want to give so many props to that specifically.
No, yeah, that scene was
scene was
absurdly good. It was good on all facets too. Like you might hear a lot of the quotes are coming from Griffin, but a lot of the like movement, everything like that, Kai and Kaz were on.
It's
like,
their physical comedy is Kai and Kaz's strong suit.
They were extremely deep in a bag, and they did amazing the entire time.
They're so funny.
Next scene was Pav response over from Explore Academy.
I haven't seen Pav in a hot minute.
And so I think what I had was Aurora hits the Cupid Shuffle and sings. I forgot what it was. It was like this song that...
Oh!
It was,
okay, I wrote it all down, actually.
Okay.
Aurora cues off Jacob. Every time Jacob makes eye contact, has to do Gangnam Style while singing My Heart Will Go On. Adrian is cueing off Aurora. Every time she looks into the audience, he has to scratch off a lottery ticket and lose while talking in Shakespearean. Jacob is cueing off Adrian. Every time Adrian moves their right foot, they had to talk like Gilbert Gottfried doing a confessional.
Yeah, like in a reality show, you know, when they're in like that weird like
the
booth,
confession room.
and they're like, I don't even know why Monica was acting like that. You
like
know
total
what I mean?
drama.
Yeah, total drama,
total
that kind of mindset. I should clarify. This has to clarify again for a second week. Jacob is now the second performer ever in Wildcard history to be immediately ineligible for all awards, but was extremely funny. There was half of my lines from this. There is so Rory was being a scary clown in the background who occasionally was hitting the Gangnam Style. Adrian would occasionally hit scratch the lottery ticket. You just hear like, oh, why? But most of the scene that you can actually hear, because it's Pav response, it's usually chaos when it starts going, is just Jacob going, there is a clown on a spaceship! There is a clown and he's juggling! Supercalifragilistic how did I think of that word? And oh my god! And and my note was Gilbert Gottfried was dominant and hilarious.
I think it's because it was funny because Gilbert Gottfried did just move the story forward.
His confessional essentially was it felt like an existential crisis was going on in Gilbert Gottfried's life, and we were just hearing his thoughts while it was playing.
One of my other favorite lines is, "My dad keeps losing. What is he losing?"
It was so good.
Sorry. I think it was Adrian scratching off the ticket going, to win or not to win? Blasphemy. And then it's
like... they all did very, very good. Jacob's Gilbert Godfrey was absurdly good. I'm glad. That's one of the things that I always do like is when a performer really does know how to do an impression of a celebrity with a very clear voice.
I feel like there's like if you ever need like a list of celebrities that you need to learn how to do or at least be aware of, it's Jennifer Coolidge, Nicolas Cage, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, I feel like those three tend to get used.
Those ones get used used
on
a lot.
occasion you might get, because Christopher Walken
No,
doesn't
Christopher
get used
Walken.
as much.
It doesn't. The older crowds like it.
Yeah.
But like for the younger crowds, it's also like Chappell Roan is like another one that pops up occasionally. Justin Bieber pops up occasionally.
Who else has a very clear voice?
Oh, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
Some wrestlers.
Yeah.
Arnold
Cena.
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Schwarzenegger's always gonna be one.
And then who's the other one that's really big is oh, I just had it. Barbie.
Barbie.
Getting the Barbie like talking pattern down is pretty big. Barbie gets used a lot still, despite the movie coming out like 2 years ago.
But it's because Barbie's just kind of like a cultural thing.
It's all Margot Robbie.
What I'm saying is, if you ever need to find characters, go online and just Google like celebrities with distinct voices, and like listen to them.
Yeah.
Because you'll find stuff like J. Cool. You're always gonna get a J. Cool.
That's Jennifer Coolidge. J. Cool means Jennifer Coolidge, not J. Cole's cousin.
Oh,
J. Cool.
Sorry.
Also, I wanted to add, this was my like final note on that game was Gilbert Gottfried was dominant and hilarious is the exact note. Adrian was super subtle but super good, and I put Rory had the clearest character.
Yeah.
Because we understood that it was Gilbert Gottfried by the end, but the character itself technically wasn't Gilbert Gottfried. They just had to do a Gilbert Gottfried impression. I think by the end they were just like, this has to be Gilbert Gottfried who we are witnessing, because I refuse to believe this is anyone else. And Adrian's Shakespearean father was fun.
It was so funny.
But Rory had like the clearest character who was like actually just a specific character that was just in the scene.
It was funny seeing Rory in the back, like while they're doing their weird debacles, just like clowning,
yeah,
like juggling or like.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was built around Adrian being able to squeeze in really funny lines where he could. Rory playing around in the back had a good dynamic of like the to make like your eyes be able to watch more things. I always think doing something subtle and awesome in the background is big, and Gilbert Gottfried was just 95% of what you heard. So it was.
To be fair, that was a brutal cue.
Every time he stares?
No, every time he moved his right foot.
And it was funny too, because I think it was kind of weird. Adrian didn't move his right foot to start off the scene. He was like very awkwardly planted on both feet.
He was planted, and then he started just hot feet is like what I call it, is where they like start, like when you kind of fidget on stage while you're standing, and he kept doing that. So poor what's his name?
Jacob.
Poor Jacob had to just stay out the whole time essentially, because he'd stop, look back, he would take another step, and he'd go back to monologuing, and I was like, oh no, he's trapped.
Yeah, he did get trapped in Gilbert Gottfried. But it was hilarious. Overall, that was a really good path response.
And then continuation.
Let's see. Griffin had a line of, "They don't call me the mountain man for nothing.
Why?
I live in the mountain."
It's so stupid. And then the line that follows up after that is, "Do you know the mountain man likes actual rocks? The mountain man likes rocks music." And I was like, what the heck is? It was so. Oh Lord.
I had a note. This note's a little different. So I usually just like to clarify all the positives that I see. This was one that I had that was kind of like quick, and then I was like, ooh, heck yeah. And it was Kai had a quick moment of stage presence where like it kind of was like, Kai was like turned, but immediately I think Kai felt it, which is good because I think Kai has grown with stage presence as the year has gone on. So that was really big, seeing Kai be able to like not need any form of assistance. It was like one of those things where like you can see Kai kind of was like, and then immediately like flipped, and I was like, nice. You know what I mean?
Good.
It's those little small bits that like I do appreciate seeing that after like a few weeks, because like week 1 Kai was kind of one of those ones where like if they had offstage presence, it was gonna hold for about 5-6 seconds before like either someone turned them or they caught on. So Kai catching it so quickly was really awesome to see.
Yes.
It's like a subtle bit of growth that you notice with things like that.
The scene, gosh, it was such a chaotic scene, but I was very entertained. I was giggling the whole time.
Yeah, the scene ended, because I did have to put, I was like, Griffin reeled chaos by playing music with everyone again at the end.
There's this one part where, I can't remember who came down. Someone came down as a troll, and then someone said, maybe it's because your name is the hideous troll that lives on the top of the mountain. And I was like, I don't know, that made me laugh. Of just like, yeah, that's your name. It's Hideous Troll that lives on the top of a mountain. My biggest note, I think if anyone, for future reference, plays Continuation, is if you are going to enter the scene, because this is a game that hinges on the fourth person enters, and the fifth, and the sixth, and now you're playing two characters, is make sure there's always a reason to enter the scene. You don't want to just enter because you can, you want to enter because there's a reason.
And I say, it's, a lot of times, you know, I've heard notes before where people are like, be careful just announcing, like, I am the blank, like, whenever you enter a scene.
But I think with this
game, it's big to give yourself a very clear character out the jump, so then whenever people are switching, they know exactly who they might be.
And the alternative to that is, if you're going to enter the scene, I think it's smart to also just be a background character where it's like, I'm here, and they're just cleaning in the background or something, or they're just doing something, because this game is one of those games where it's so easy to get lost in everyone trying to have a turn of like, I have something funny, I have something funny, I have something funny. I think that this is my take, and you can disagree with me, that I think the core three characters should always stay the main three characters talking, and the three that follow in are support.
I think that's a very fair dynamic to have.
Yeah, but that's also like if you're learning the game, because obviously things change.
Yeah.
But I think at the start of when you're trying to figure out the game, that's one of the easiest ways to control it.
Yeah, I think unless you get like a very clear like suggestion, like it's something like the Avengers or whatever, that everyone can come in as another superhero. But if it is something where like you know we're all making our own characters, everything like that, having characters that are subtle is gonna be big. Unless you still want to come in as an Avenger, then come in as Iron Man's suit, but just kind of like hover, like.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, Continuation was very fun. It was still, aside from that, a very fun scene to watch. Griffin's at the very end doing the, let's all play a song together!
Yeah.
I'm playing the ukulele! It's like, alright.
It was a great way for it to all reel in. I think it was a very nice button. Moving into Spring Valley versus West Tech. This was a fun show. Let me see who I have here. Let me read this. Yes, this is what we got to see. So, with Spring Valley, we got to see the debut of Abby over at Spring Valley.
So funny.
They started off with...
I can do that better.
Yes, and let me see.
I really liked it because their crux was the Wiggles. And that was the crux. Their suggestion was the Wiggles. I wrote at some point, why are you adding democracy to the Wiggle Wiggle group? And I was like...
Yes, okay. I remember this scene. I came in midway through this.
Okay, got it.
It was, yes, so a lot of the Wiggle Wiggle group, I think it was Kat really keeping that plot alive throughout the scene.
Yes.
So the thing that I can do that better is we start doing so many things better that we start to forget who the original characters were in the scene.
Yeah.
Kat did a good job at keeping the Wiggle Wiggle group concept of the scene going because it allowed I think Kat started the scene, correct?
Yeah, so they started, it was Kat and Abby started the scene, I believe, if I remember correctly. Let me look it up.
I believe so.
Yes. They started the scene and it was just, oh, no, I think Caitlin started, I lied to you. Caitlin and Kat started the scene.
Okay.
There we go. And it was just them trying to come up with better lyrics for the song Fruit Salad Yummy Yummy. And Kat just goes, you're a dummy dummy. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, and then I think that was like one of the last lines as well. Has
Yeah.
something to do with that? Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, overall, I think Kat, managed to keep the scene together. I think everyone did have fun ideas with what they were doing better than the others. It was one of those things where Kat managed to tie the button back on it.
Yes.
And, like, keep the scene making sense at the end.
I think one of the big things that makes this game laugh in this game is a lot of times this is a game that everyone breaks. We said this last week. Everyone likes to break this game, but I like that the way they broke this game was funnier than trying to take everyone's roles. It was I could do that better. I could beat her arms better. And then at the very end, they were all just each other's arms. And I thought that was such a funny bit.
Okay, I think because this handwriting was different than mine. I see WoW game arms. P.S. Hygio.
I think that's Roman.
Yeah, I think it was Roman. So Roman liked the arms bit. Be proud of yourselves. You have made Roman giggle enough to where he felt the need to have to write it into my journal while I was gone. If Roman ever makes me write a specific note, be proud of yourself because it means it made Roman laugh hard enough that he's like, oh, you have to put that down. You have to put that down.
I liked it. We move into Dive Store Novel with West Tech.
Did you know that you have a scene suggestion on there? I have it. It is absurd.
I wrote down ambient piano question mark parentheses shout out Zake.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, what was the scene
The scene suggestion was green eggs and ham too. I am neutral on green eggs and ham. Sheriff Romero finds love.
I said the crap about green eggs and ham. I think someone said, I think it was Ali in the audience saying Sheriff Romero finds love, and they just mushed him
For
together.
reference to Sheriff Romero is Sheriff Romero was our host this week actually. I don't know why I said Roman last week. He was there. I was waiting on him. I never saw him. But Sheriff Romero was our host last week. Did a great job.
He was great. Roman finally got to take a break. Shout out Romero.
Shout out Sheriff Romero. Honestly.
And apparently we might have a new host this weekend.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Cupid Jones.
Cupid Jones.
That's probably not the name. Yeah. So I put in this one. I think Kaylin was the novel writer.
Kaylin was the novelist with Colton and Kenna being the actors of the two. I'm sorry, there's just a very funny line of Kaylin at the start going, I'm the most interesting woman in the room. And then I think Colton immediately repeated that in character, and I was like, it's so funny. I really liked that Kaylin's like, yes, I am the inventor of Jinko jeans, and just kept emphasizing Jinko jeans the entire scene.
I felt like Kaylin's character was very, very solid.
It was so funny.
Whenever the novelist has a very clear character that's very good, right? We saw Jennifer Coolidge last week. So seeing Kaylin, the creator of Gene Code Genes, who's also the most interesting woman in the room, was an absolute slapdashery fun time. So
it was just the line of this check in my really big jean pockets, my Jinko jean pockets. I was like, is this like an ad? Are we being like advertised to right now without knowing? I loved it.
The next game that we had from this show was Weekend at Bernie's. That was Spring Valley? Yes. That was Spring Valley. I put Abby and Kayla, brilliant, like, energy and captured perfectly by... Oh, Abby suddenly started yodeling, and the comedic timing was
so
beautiful.
Because it was like, okay, watch this.
I think the suggestion was yodeling.
Yeah, it was yodeling.
Yes.
It was very funny. It was also just Kat's addition into the scene, because I don't think they knew how to enter, and just goes, is this the room for Single Moms United? And I was like, okay.
I forgot that was Kat's character. it was two yodelers and Kat who's looking for the room for Single Moms United. I forgot. So that scene, Kat was the first one to get plucked and have to do the Weekend at Bernie.
Romero is cruel. That was what I wrote.
So I noticed the performers in this Weekend at Bernie's weren't very, like, aggressive with picking them up. They kind of just gave them light lifts where it was like,
I think my big tip with this game is just go ham on the ragdoll physics.
Yes.
Because I think you're, as performers, if you die, your goal is to help the other one pick you up. Like, if someone's coming to you, just start standing so it's easier for them to move you over.
Kat said that's what they had gone for after the show. Kat was like, I was going for that, and they just didn't continue to lift me, so I just fell back down. And I was like, that's so funny. I was like, because Kat is the exact person who I know is more than willing to ragdoll.
I think, Abby and Kayla, they're freshmen, so they might be new to this game, so that's my guess.
Well, I will say, either way, I found it hilarious. So, Kayla goes down second, and so Abby, who has now almost established that in this form of game, that we're not going to fully lift the dead performer. So, when they didn't fully lift Kat, who they left in one corner, that's why you put Sheriff Romero as evil. Sheriff Romero proceeds to drag Kayla to the other corner of the stage. And Abby, who has now not fully lifted the performers, proceeds to walk around and pick them up and then walk across the entire stage, pick up a hand, speak, and then walk back across the entire stage each time.
I did write down the line, Abby, I'm so sorry you're cooking. You're really getting that cardio in.
No, yeah, Abby, you made it so funny. It was because you guys established something that you could argue is technically the incorrect way to play a game, but it ended up making it so funny because now the gimmick is you have to run across stage for every single line. And it was very funny. It really funny. So yeah, Abby, Kayla, you both did very, very good. I am not knocking on you for not knowing to fully lift up Kat or anything like that, because I thought the scene still ended up extremely funny.
It was very fun. I think one of the gimmicks I think that's funny in Weekend at Bernie's and Survivor and High School Play is the panic you get if you're the last one standing, because it's like, ooh, how are you going to adapt? Because now you have the burden of having to do everything.
And this was Abby's first show, so I think that was...
She did great. Like, shout out Abby, man. You were awesome. You were so funny. And then we get to Battleship, and I just want to say that me and Kayla were... Or not me and Kayla. Me and Chelsea were right.
First note. That's
me and Chelsea were right. So in Battleship, the two scenes...
That's my only note.
Yeah, is it actually...
My only note for that game was... No way.
you were that gagged over this. Okay.
Who says that?
Gagged?
Not gagged. The what's going to be the point of...
the two scenes for this game were West Tech was Baseball Diamond and Spring Valley was Library. Romero comes out and gets the suggestions. Me and Chelsea passionately yell, Dewey Decimal System. And Gio and Romero are like, they are not going to say that. They are definitely not going to say Dewey Decimal System. And me and Chelsea were like, no, they will. Have faith. They are smart. And they're like, we don't have faith, but we're going to write it down anyways. And guess what the first word said was?
They literally came out the gate and said Dewey Decimal System, and I was actually irate, because I was like, who even begins a sentence talking about the Dewey Decimal System? I was so upset. Keep in mind, they were able to get Dewey Decimal System, but they couldn't say left field. Okay? So, what? Dewey Decimal System? It's not even specifically a library thing. I thought that was a math thing.
No, it's a library thing. It's how they sort the books.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot. I haven't been in a library in years. At least, well, I'm in one right now. But I haven't
We are literally in one right now.
I haven't spoke to a librarian. Actually, no, I have a cousin who's a librarian. I don't do library things.
So what I'm hearing is, you're lying.
I go into Barnes & Noble. They don't do it the same way. Do they? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think Barnes & Noble is like actual, like just stock and stuff.
I get my books online and unfortunately help support corporate greed. But the comics have cheaper deals.
Well, you gotta get your cheap deals.
How's a guy gonna read Fables? Okay.
Anyways,
continue.
I really like this battleship. It really was just, this is my first two notes. Dewey Decimal System was said, me and Chelsea were right.
It was funny because the moment it got said, I was like, there's no way. Like, I was just like, there's no actual way. They started off by saying Dewey Decimal System.
And then my other note I wrote for this show was Kayla Cat Dead Body Show.
Yeah. Cat was a dead body literally the entirety of 2 games in a row.
And then Kayla also was quick to fall behind, too.
Yes.
It was very, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. This became one of those scenes where I think I had to come out and try to assist on
Yeah.
Yes, because they couldn't get study room. I think it came out where Kat was like, I'm trying to study.
Where?
And we were all like, like everyone was looking as intently as possible.
And then we get to Blind Freeze.
Yes.
Blind Freeze, not a lot of notes. I liked it.
I have, my name's Oscar, the ostrich, from Kat. And I have, hold on there. Hold on there. Hold on there, from Kayla.
So, I didn't write a lot of notes on that game because I think I was giggling too much. The only note I literally wrote was, for these kinds of games, this is a general note for everyone, is when we're playing line games, we just need to come downstage a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's very minimal. But Blind Freeze was so funny. Yeah, we're gonna move on to
our wildcard show.
Our wildcard show with Acta and Wildcard.
Ooh.
So, we started off with dating app.
Yes.
But before that, we had a coin toss.
Yes, so the coin toss, I did not take note of the coin toss. Do you have
I didn't write what the note was for the coin toss. I did, however, write ailment 1, Sean is French.
Yeah, Sean immediately got Frenchness for the rest of the show, which is ironic because Sean's nickname, I guess, in the show was French Toast.
Oh.
So that's kind of hilarious
really
now that
funny.
I'm looking at it.
So we started off with the dating app with Gio being on the dating app.
Yes, I was. My mindset when I should clarify for the dating app was it's funny. If a character's funny, I want to hear more from the character. Despite that, now you're going to understand why I brought up this because Manny was both of my parents, who I swiped right on both times, to apologize for being on this dating app.
So if anyone's never seen Manny perform, oh my, that guy is so good at pulling out the... Okay, actually, all three, because we had Manny, Jonathan, and Sean, which are 3 performers who are just very cerebral, clever performers that you watch them and you're like, you don't know what they're putting out on that stage. You have no idea what they're about to say, and it is so funny.
They all were super funny. I put Sean is small Frenchman digging hole.
I did write the quote down. I just dug a hole all the way from France.
Yeah, and it should be clarified. Sean spent the beginning of it just digging a hole, and I was like, I'm gonna let Sean cook. I trust Sean. Crawls underneath chair and then says that line.
So
and
funny.
In Sean's like really bizarre French accent, which is also I think Sean's like Stewie Griffin impression.
I didn't even catch that.
And Sean was like, I just dug. No, it sounds like it sounds like from Sicily. Sean was like, I just dug all the way from France. It's such a bizarre. It's so bizarre.
And then there was also just a line also of Jean-Luc, I'm a snowboarder. I should be at the Winter Olympics, but I'm here with you.
Taki had a parkour character that actually was popping off. I was like, Taki's movement right here is actually really clean.
Taki's so funny.
I swiped left on the character, but I want to give shout-outs to Taki there.
I think it was funny when you swiped left, Taki did parkour away, which was funny. I was like, oh my god. Cece also just had a lot of solid characters in this game, too.
Yeah.
Shout out Cece, man. She's so funny.
Cece did very, very good.
This was a really good show for Cece.
Other one to note that I had was Sean was my IT guy fixing how much of my family was on the app. Because I think eventually someone came in as like my small little...
Jonathan came in as your little brother, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, little brother, yeah. But yeah, so Sean was like, we noticed you kept experiencing a lot of family popping up on our app. We're gonna fix this. And I was like, so I think that was the last character was Sean as my IT guy.
It was so funny.
Which is probably good, because that'll probably be good in future dating apps. Sheriff Romero was freaking out the entire time. It was like, you're swiping right on your mom. It's a dating app. And I was like, I have to apologize to my mother.
Okay, and then we have Good, Bad, Ugly from Ekta.
They refer to it as good, bad, worse.
Oh, oops.
Which is more aggressive, too. It's not even ugly, it's just worse. You're like, dang, okay. My bad.
Alright, the three characters were Taki, practical math engineer, does math. Allie, Miss High School, theater director. Miss High School theater director, there we go.
Yes.
Directing Chicago. And Cece was a paranoid person, mean person, Mr. Cuddles, named G.I. Joe.
Yes. My suggestions, my write-downs of there were very similar.
Yeah.
Mine was Taki does math in person, is very normal. And then I put Cece is dangerous, rude, and mysterious. And I also have Allie is Miss. So I have, I think this was Cece being scary towards Sheriff Romero was, I have Mr. Cuddles. Don't make me put Mr. Cuddles to heaven. I was like, well, what does that mean?
That's crazy.
And then that's when, like, later on, I think Sheriff Romero asks a question, like, what's going on there? You know, like, what's going on? And that's when Cece replies with, my name's G.I. Joe. And you're like, what?
It was just Cece also menacingly sitting in the chair the whole time and staring at the audience.
Yeah.
So funny.
Eventually the game got to this point where they were kind of hating on my hat and my outfit.
Oh, where they said, I agree person with the horrible yellow hat. I like the hat. For reference, I like the hat.
It's a chainsaw bed hat.
I'm biased. Nice. I'm biased.
But it's okay. They were hating on my hat and I found it funny. Taki, who's probably one of my biggest haters, comes up to me and goes, I actually like the yellow hat. In character, and I was like, I don't even know if anyone heard it in the audience.
I didn't know that.
But that made me laugh super hard. Was Taki coming all the way up to me, saying, complimenting my hat, and then going back.
Taki's just...
Oh, it should be clarified. I think the reason why that yellow hat was part of the joke was, in dating app, I was referred to as man in the yellow hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the guy from Curious George.
Yes.
Oh, and then there's just... Taki at one point says, that phrasing is quite humorous in response to, I think... Allie's character?
Taki played a very subtle character. I think when you're playing a normal character, it almost feels hard to make like really big jokes because the idea is you're trying to be very calm and casual. But that was the joke.
Yeah.
And that's why it was executed so well.
Because I think Taki did it so where she was so normal that it got to weird again.
Yes.
Wait, Taki's so funny. Taki... So funny.
Then we had interrogation from the Wildcard team. I don't think I have too many full quotes from it.
I have a lot. I wrote mostly quotes in this.
But I have Manny super witty. Jonathan took an hour for Amazon Prime. Okay. I have my favorite Nicolas Cage film starts with a J and ends
that's Replay.
That's Replay? Oh, you're right. I'm cutting into it. All right, go to the interrogation.
Okay, interrogation. I wrote the French is so funny. Manny at one point just goes, "You're so un-Irish." That made me laugh. Then there's another part where I'm Irish, I'm French, I'm British, I'm everything.
Was that Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Sean's accent kept fluctuating, and I think someone commented on it.
I think it immediately got caught, because I think Sean started off with, like, a very, like, all right, listen here, partner. And then immediately it was like, aren't you French? And it was like, I am.
So good. It took 1 to 2 business days was one. Oh, they were trying to get them to say Optimus Prime. Trying to get Jonathan to say Prime. And then it was just, I don't know the government names of Transformers.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime. And it's like, yes, that one.
It's because they could never get it. It was Amazon Optimus Prime. And Jonathan was just saying this a million times. And eventually, Jonathan realized it's Amazon Prime. And was like,
And then my favorite thing is just Manny aggressively going, "Who's your favorite Mongolian emperor?"
So it's so hard to get Genghis Khan real quick.
Yeah.
Mongolian Emperor made it great.
It was so funny.
Man, it was hilarious for that one.
And then after that, we got our second ailment, which was Allie had to do the Thriller dance every time someone said an onomatopoeia.
Yes.
Which I do want to sidebar. I don't think anyone here knew what an onomatopoeia was, because they would say "wow" and then look at Allie, and I'm like, that is not an onomatopoeia.
Yeah, I think Roman, when giving Romero when giving the examples of onomatopoeias, did say "wow" as one of the examples, so that's why. I should be noted that later on in the game, I was like, I was telling Allie, I was like, Allie, that's your cue, and then Allie goes, I don't know what I'm queuing off of. I was like, onomatopoeias. Allie goes, what specifically is an onomatopoeia? And I was like the noises that you would see in like a comic book, like kaplow. And then Allie goes, oh, and I was like, oh, we never clarified onomatopoeias. So Allie was just like hearing cues and was just like, I don't think I go yet. And it was super funny. They had replay.
I love Replay. Replay is one of my favorite games.
The line was, this is the line that I was starting up earlier, was, my favorite Nicolas Cage film starts with a J and ends with an S. James Sullivan.
No, but it was funny. No, you're missing the middle part of this
Am I missing the middle part of this quote?
So say that line again. It was like, my favorite
Nicolas Cage film starts with a J and ends with an S.
And then Jonathan just says, Independence Day.
Wait, because were they all Nicolas Cage?
They were all different Nicolas Cages. I wrote it down. Hold on, we're gonna go through them individually. So the basic Replay was really funny, because one of the lines that was just really funny, I think was, I want to say Sean said this, where the only thing more American than driving a semi-truck is stealing. And that was the end. And then we had rom-com from Ekta, where, I guess Taki also had an ailment here, where she had to say all of her lines to the tune of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Oh, yes. I forgot about that one.
So she just goes, "They are quite fruity," to the tune of "Everyone Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And I was like, what is happening? Oh, and then I wrote Nick Cage from various movies. Oh, I guess I didn't write the movies. Which was just, let's talk at random volumes. Manny then goes, my favorite Nick Cage movie starts with a J and ends with an S. Independence Day. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and then that somehow is James Sullivan. So I think that was the name of the character in the first scene.
It was one of the names, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Manny walks out and goes, James Sullivan, we have to steal the semi-truck.
It was a really good. I liked Replay.
East Tech got Atla as their thing, and I'm just sitting here looking at Allie the whole time because I'm like, they're just making sound effects this whole game.
Mm-hmm. Atla is Avatar: The Last Airbender, for clarification, for people who don't know what Atla is.
And then Secret of the Mimic was the next for wild card. That was a Mia suggestion. But it was just, I only wrote quotes for this one, which was, I am William Z. Afton. Freddy's been out the whole time. Hello, hello, to the tune of, like, the tone of the first phone call in the first game. And should we reveal our names we've been hiding from the lore the whole time?
And they never, was it James Sullivan?
Yeah, it was James.
They were all James Sullivan.
They're like, we have to say it on 3. What? And it was so funny.
Yeah, no. As a person who isn't super deep into FNAF lore, I do know a lot of fun things is messing with the audience of theories and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we get the final ailment, which is Manny, every time they're facing different directions, has to be different characters.
Yes, that's true.
This is important for Blind Freeze, which is the final game.
Oh yeah, if Manny is facing backwards, like completely away from the audience, Manny cannot speak, can only use hand gestures in Blind Freeze. So for calling freeze, Manny just goes. I guess what you see is more of a this.
It's so funny. Sorry.
What is it? Is this seal? What did I write?
Where?
I have a line from Blind Freeze, which is from Manny, who goes, "I'm gonna get back into character." Oh, it's another seal or something like that. I don't know.
Seed. I remember this because it was like I think a plant thing.
Yes.
I'll get back into character, so I'll see you all later. It was so funny. Jonathan and Sean had a really good scene. Talkie every time kept speaking and then automatically went talking and I gotta sing now. And I'm like, Talkie's so funny.
Yeah, it was Talkie hating the idea of doing Take Me Out to the Ball Game that made it so good. It was just, what was the line that Talkie said in the game before? What was it about was it the fruity one?
Oh, everybody is so fruity, I think was the one. Where is it? They are quite fruity to the tune of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
I think it was like, they were talking about a fruit.
Because they were in a rom-com. That was the joke. I think Talkie walks in as the third character and he goes, "They are quite fruity," referring to Allie and Cece. And I'm like...
It's so funny. All of the Talkie did an amazing job with whenever saying the line. It made it hilarious.
It was so good. I think also Talkie or Cece and Allie during Blind Freeze were so funny because they just had very consistently funny characters the entire time.
I think we both know the last quote from the game.
Oh yeah.
It was easily the best. It was easily the best quote, maybe the show, because it was so perfect. So, like we said earlier, these are very cerebral performers that were on the wildcard team. Very, very funny, super witty, super creative. And they always have, like, even if you think you know exactly where they're going, they're 40 steps ahead of you. So what happens is, obviously, so if Manny was facing to the left, Manny had to speak a certain way. If Manny was facing to the right, Manny had to speak a certain way. If Manny was facing directly towards the audience, Manny had to give their exact thoughts in the moment. And that's why I'm going to get back in character. Oh, it's another seed. But when Manny called freeze, one of the characters was laying down. So when Manny taps the character, obviously you have to start the scene when you do the freeze. Manny goes, "No one suspected what I would say when looking up."
No, it was no one ever suspected what character I'd be laying on the floor.
Is that what it was?
Was it?
Whatever it was, it made me haha.
It was just because Manny says it so seriously, and I think it was Jonathan. I don't know who was out. I think it was Jonathan out when this was happening. He just goes. It was either Jonathan or Allie. It was one of the two of them just reacted that way. Two very different people, by the way. I don't know why I'm mixing them up, but I can't remember which one did it.
It's funny because Jonathan's like 6'10".
Jonathan is so funny. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that's all the shows from this week.
Yes.
We're gonna do quick shout-outs because we gotta get out of here.
I think one of my shout-outs, I think we spent a lot of time talking about it and giving it a lot of credit and things like that. But my shout out for this week is probably going to go towards, I have two. My first one's going to go towards Kai, who I think we are seeing a lot of growth from Kai. Kai is doing super good. Kai is super hilarious. Big fan of how Kai's done this season. I remember seeing Kai in the first preseason event that they were at, where kind of seeing them as a performer, they were kind of like getting their feel for everything, kind of getting like, what makes them feel comfortable. Like they mostly wanted to perform with Kaz because it was like a comfort basis. As Kai is starting to break out more and more and more, Kai's doing very, very good. Kaz too, as well, is also doing very good. I just personally am giving it to Kai just off of others. A lot of little things with Kai's movement, which was like always there, but now it all makes sense. And it's just a lot of growth. So a lot of credit there. My other note is my other shout out is going to go towards, I want to say Kayla specifically, because Kayla has been kind of performing with new people every single show this year. Kayla has not performed with like the same people like almost any time. except for this show, they finally, one, got to perform with one of their own teammates, but also got to perform with Kat, who performed with them earlier in the show as well. So I think seeing what Kayla feels like when comfortable with performers and everything like that, and with performers they have experience with, we are able to see how much Kayla can really do when people understand where Kayla's thought process naturally goes. So Kayla is doing a very, very good job being in that awkward position that, for instance, Emma was in last year.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. So that's never an easy spot to be. Kayla, you're doing an amazing job. Be very, very proud of yourself. Hold your head very high. I think you're doing a great job at keeping scenes together and doing all the little technical things that everyone needs. So, great job.
Yes.
So, notes are to Kai and Kayla.
My shout-outs are going to Chelsea and Kat for doing all the backstage things that we can't keep track of. Chelsea, freaking awesome coach. Even better improviser. I love Chelsea. Chelsea takes such good notes. Chelsea gives such good suggestions, and I'm not just saying that because both of us said Dewey Decimal System. And then Kat, if you ever are backstage and someone has really nice handwriting on these papers, it is Kat. Kat is awesome. Kat is so good at this. So shout out to you two for keeping it functional backstage.
Yes, and I give credit to Kat. I'll give credit to Kat for that as well. Off the back that Kat has developed their technique of doing it a lot better with it. Before, Kat had this issue where there wasn't last names. So good job, Kat. You're doing very good backstage.
And also thank you, Kat, for doing what I started doing, which was writing down freshmen and seniors, because we needed to do that.
Thank you.
Thank
yes.
you.
We've been trying to do that all season.
And then our next show is Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
So spread some love to your fellow improvisers by supporting them at Del Sol this Saturday. Yeah, that's it. That's all we have.
Del Sol means Valentine's Day in Spanish.
Did you know that?
It doesn't.
Can you say Del Sol?
Can you say Del Sol? I'm Danny Trejo's boots. Valentine's Day.